Charles McKinney. I'm the Neville Frierson Bryan Chair of Africana Studies and an Associate Professor of History at the mighty Rhodes College here in Memphis, Tennessee. My parents are from the South. Both of my parents were born in Arkansas in the 1930s, which is to say the Jim Crow South. So they grew up having spent the first 3 decades of their lives behind the veil, as W.E.B. Du Bois would say, behind the veil of segregation. My father and mother went to college in Arkansas. Then my father went off and attended graduate school. After he finished his doctoral work at the University of Missouri, we moved to California, where he took a job at University of California at Santa Barbara. So that's why I grew up, my sister and I, our family grew up in Southern California. I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, an historically Black college. And so it was there that I fell in love with history and an exploration of the civil rights movement in particular. My mentor down at Morehouse, Dr. Marcellus Barksdale, was a guiding light. He had gone to Duke University as a graduate student, and so I followed in his footsteps. He had also gone to Morehouse, so I followed in his footsteps and made my way to Duke for my graduate studies in American history, focusing specifically on the civil rights movement. As a grad student, where I studied with Bill Chafe and Charles Payne and a host of others in the Duke History Department, I learned about what was then being called sort of indigenous civil rights movements, right? Local struggles, what people were doing on the ground in order to bring about fundamental systemic change. And that's where I really started to dig in as a scholar. So my first book was on the civil rights struggle in a rural part of North Carolina. That book's called Greater Freedom. And then my second book is an edited volume on the civil rights struggle in Memphis, Tennessee, called An Unseen Light. So my primary area of expertise and what I'm really interested in is Black politics as well, but also Black politics in a very particular context, right? Politics in the context of building and maintaining civil rights struggles on local, regional, and national levels.
Mark Pohlmann taught for several decades at Rhodes College, born and raised in Davenport, Iowa. Grew up, I would say, in an interracial area of an industrial middle-sized city. Most of my interaction with people of color occurred in athletics. When I got to graduate school, my mentor was a fellow named Charles Hamilton, who some of you may know from the book Black Power. Went undergrad, Cornell College, graduate, Columbia, studied under Chuck there at Columbia, got interested in Black politics as my primary area of research, and published, I guess, 5 different books in that area. A little shameless plug for the latest one, 4th edition of Black Politics in Conservative America. And racial politics has been my primary area of teaching and research